Welcome to Aaron Plays. This will be episode 11 of Austerlitz by Hexasim Games. I am playing the French, and a colleague named Mark is playing as a coalition. This is actually my second take of this start of this video. I made some errors which were unsurmountable, so I'm having to do them again. Now, this is a play-by-email episode. Mark has done a log file, and I'm going to go through that log, discuss what's going on, and then do my own log file. In the previous version of this, that's where I made a serious error. I will describe the error, and it was effectively a misinterpretation. Well, they've added a part to a rule in the rule book, which I had missed. So I'll go through that. But first of all, let's go through Mark's log. And for me, this is the second time. So I know what's going to happen here. So, hi, Aaron. Langeron just saved the day with his leadership DRM. Mightily relieved, Vasseldyke gave us one hell of a dramatic battle with high casualties. That was what happened in the last episode. And let me just zoom in a little bit. We had a little bit of a fight around this area. French assaulting up the hill. And Langeron, who's under that activation marker there, who I initially missed, managed to, by his one modifier that's shown there, that little one, both held the units in the line and stopped them routing, and also made it that it wasn't a complete elimination as well. So yes, he definitely saved the day in that situation. So onto coalition activation. We will try for the fifth column. Okay, under Liechtenstein. So that's these ones with the 5C on them. As you can see, they've all got a little 6 underneath them. That's denoting that they can move 6 if they're activated, which means that they are a cavalry formation. Okay, so that is the reserve coalition cavalry corps or column. He rolls an 11. Now, I know Liechtenstein, if we look at his actual rating set up, he's definitely not an 11 here. Sorry, 4. On that one, so it must be this one. There he is. He's an 8, which is not bad for the coalition. You can see they've got a couple of 7s, migration being excellent, of course. So that is his carry that he's tried to activate. Needed an 8 or less. He rolled an 11, so that's a big no. Okay, move on to the next. That's an O. Okay, so he's going to try for Kutuzov. That's the army commander himself. Rolls a 6. Kutuzov is a 10, so yes. Activate. Note that there are only 2 markers remaining on the field for Kutuzov, northeast and east of Prats. There's Prats. There's a Kutuzov marker there. And there, one of those is real, one of those is a dummy. Oh, firstly, we'll use his special command ability to activate 2 stacks. Okay, so the army commanders and the coalition have 2. In fact, they have 3. Buchhausen, Alexander, and Kutuzov. When they activate, you have various things you can do with a commander. What Mark's using here is that they can activate stacks equal to their rating. Kutuzov is a 10-2, so you can activate 2 stacks of units. And that's one of the few occasions you can actually, a unit could activate 3 or potentially 4 times if it's activated by a different army commander in a turn. So a commander can activate 2 stacks, or in this case 2 stacks, because Kutuzov Napoleon, I think he's a 10-3, he could activate 3 stacks. These units must be within command range. But then they can move and fire as he wishes them to do so. So that's one option. And even though each commander can be activated twice, they can only choose that option once per turn. So that option to activate 2 units or 3 units, depending on the leader, is once per turn. I say leader, commander. I'll get the terminology right. The other thing they can do is they can rally units. So in Kutuzov's case, where he can put two, he could rally 2 stacks of units, and they could do that in both of their activations. The other thing they can do, which they can't do at the present because it's 8 o'clock, they can change orders for up to the amount of formations equivalent to their rating. Again, whoever's formation they want to change the order to must be within their command range. That will allow Kutuzov on a subsequent turn, because at 8 o'clock he can't do it, but 9 o'clock he could, to change orders for up to 2 formations. Okay, so what is he actually going to do then? He generally is saying, first he will use his special command to activate 2 stacks. Both markers are within range. See question 10 in Q&A. Play it this way, or use the honor system. Well, he's going to do something with Kutuzov within command range. So I presume, well, I know he's activated some units from here, I presume. That's what I said last time, because that's what I was presuming. But I now know, because I have seen these already. The stacks to be activated are artillery batteries B and C. So it's this one and this one. Okay. I'll mark them as fired. Isn't that very nice of him? Artillery units fire at 16.5. So he's firing here. So that unit there, firing there. +1 DRM for Russian training being not up to par. That's because he's range 3 and coalition is +1 at range 3. And it's plus additional +1 at range 4. So firing it with a +2. Remembering that any result of a 7 or less will start causing a reaction from the opponent. So he's rolled a 6, +1's a 7, so that will be a QFT on my guys. Modified for a QFT. French morale is 7. You look at that stack, there's his target. The actual the unit is testing is the 57 line B, because that's the lead unit. Artillery are never a lead unit unless they're stacked on their own. You always test the lead unit, which is the top counter in the stack apart from artillery. Okay, so then morale is 7. Roll an 8. Okay, which, because I'm not adjacent to him, means they're okay. If I was adjacent to one of his units, not necessarily the one that fired, I would have to retreat or take a step loss. If the difference was 3 higher than the required number, so in other words, if I'd rolled a 10, so the required number was 7, 10, 11 or 12, I would have routed. Failed by 1, no effect, there's no enemy adjacent. See, at least he knows the rules. Art C, firing at reserve artillery B, again +1 because of the range. Rolls a 5, +1's a 6, which is also a QFT. French morale is 7, I rolled an 8 again, same, no effect. Movement, he's moving Kutuzov up a bit while moving the artillery back. That's again those 2 stacks. Okay. And next, the Kutuzov marker will move. I don't know which one of those is the real man. I don't think it really will make much that difference. They're at 4 hex range, so I still can't see them as we're under the fog conditions of 8 AM, which is visibility of 3 hexes. Okay. End of turn. No. Okay. So that concludes his actual log. As you can see, I want to carry on. I've just started a log file, so this has been recorded for him. So he's not going to see the actual video. So in my first attempt at this, what I try to do is activate Langeron. Okay, and the misinterpretation I had of the rules is if I deployed Langeron before any of the units actually moved, I would then be able to move them. Because it says if they move and then stop because of visibility range, you deploy, end of activation. However, they clarified that in a later set of rules where they said it doesn't matter about movement. As soon as you activate at any point during your activation, you're within command range, visibility range, you stop movement. And if you deploy, you stop as well. So as soon as I brought my units onto the board, that was it, they were done. So the question is, do I want to do Langeron now? I know that there's a Russian Guards over here. I'm happy with the Russian Guards being over here. My aim really is for Lance and Murat, who's here, to pull as much of these guys up here into a fight. That creates a gap here. Yes, there's another formation here, but it's a large but quite a weak formation morale-wise. I've got Bernadotte, who's going to be coming across here and striking up this way. And obviously I've got the Imperial Guard, who will be here to exploit any breakthrough here, because these two effectively are the reserve, in my mind, for the coalition. He's got Liechtenstein up. So that's currently the plan, as it were. So I'm actually going to go different here. I'm now going to go Bernadotte, rather than what I did in my first. Being polite. Right. Try and activate Bernadotte. Now, he's not the greatest commander in the field, which would be not surprised if you're to know. His rating is an 8, so I need 8 or lower. Okay, he's keen. Right, so looking at these counters, they've got a movement value of 3 on them. Can I show that by? No, I can't. All right, but on the trail, that gives them a bonus of +1, and I get an additional bonus of +1 because they are still strategical markers. So as long as they stay on the trail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Gurkovitz was under French control anyway, so I'll gain nothing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gets an additional 1 because it's actually a road he's moving upon. Okay, so I'll now mark these as activated twice. Okay, and do it end of turn die roll. Which it isn't. Okay, so so that punts it back. I'll end the log file there. Okay, to mark for the coalition. And we'll do this I'll do this a couple of times. I'll just keep the flow of the battle going. And then hopefully either this weekend or next, which if you're watching this video in about a year or 2 years, that will be totally irrelevant, but we will then do a live session again. Work for both of us has been a bit of a bear. So hope you've enjoyed what you've been watching. So, well, I'm not going to do the full end, but I will mention at this point, yeah, please hit the subscribe and like if you have enjoyed what you've been watching, and any comments will be much appreciated. But in the next video, which will be part of this video, that'll probably just be in the middle of the video. It'll sound a bit odd, but there you go. So until the next part of this video, bye for now. Hello, welcome to Aaron Plays. Continuing this episode, in the last activation, we had Bernadotte take a command down into here or here, Golukovitz. So I then sent that log off. Marcus responded. So we'll go through his log and see where we go from there. So, hi Aaron. Okay, first of all, Mark Kutuzov has activated from my previous move. I neglected to do that. I neglected to see it as well. So let me go with that. That's those 2 commanders there. Okay. Okay, I will try to activate 5th Corps. Liechtenstein with his cavalry corps who are south and east of Prats. So it's here, here, and here. As he said, it's a cavalry corps. Need 8 or less, you roll to 3. The cavalry will move. Okay. First marker moves within line of sight, and therefore the core deploys. Well, that's the real thing. So removing the rest. W markers are deleted. I'll move the units on the map, then begin to place them properly. So I'm just going to skip this part. Okay, he's put some units on the map. He's waiting to deploy them, but he's made a comment here. The first act places 34 strength points, but as a player can deploy 2 units of any one formation with 1 artillery battery, I believe this is fine. So this is the one he's deployed so far. So remembering that cavalry, each strength point is actually worth 2 in stacking. He's got a total of 17 points there, which will take to the 34 he mentions. But yes, it's 2 cavalry. Sorry, it's 2 units of the same formation and an artillery, which is allowed. Remaining units will be placed 1 head further away from the enemy, the spot of the legion, plus no further away from the line of communications. So let's see where he puts them all. Yeah, I'm clicking through this quite quickly. This is just deployment. Okay. Deployment completed. I will now unmask orders because they're within command range. So look at his order menu. Okay. There we go. Blimey, he's bringing them in. They are to engage. Puntovitz. Okay. And then he's in a turn roll, which is an 8. So no in a turn, not yet. Marks him activated. Back to the French. Okay. So this is where now I will load up my log file. And I can go File, Load Continuation. Ooh. Ooh. All right, so something changed in Vessel. Load Continuation now found on the tools menu. Okay. Okay. Proceed anyway. So I want log 12. Yeah, I'm just showing you a bit of the vessel. Normally I'd pause it before that, but it's new to me. So that should now see me. Me going high mark. Aggressive move, yeah. I think bringing his cavalry here, that is aggressive. So what am I going to do about it? So yeah, I've sent about 4 logs in total. We're just working our way through it. So the man himself, I'm going to move Napoleon. Rolls a 10. Napoleon activates on 11. So he just gets out of bed. As you can see, I can move Napoleon pretty much where I want to. He's got 10 movement. And a turn. Back to you. Right, so I'm going to pause at this point. So this is log 13. Okay, so this is, which is Napoleon, which is just an element of his staff wearing a replica funny hat. Or riding a white horse, my lord. We simply cannot know, unless you're looking at the video when it's done. Right, Kindmeyer's advanced guard needs 7 or less. So Kindmeyer's advanced guard are these guys. I don't know. No, they're not. That's these guys down here. Yeah, he's right, 7 or less. We had 1 activation. No. Next, we'll try to get commands through to Langron's 2nd column. That's these guys here. Need 8 or less. Yes, they do. Right, offensive fire from artillery D versus Sul. Right, let's zoom in now. We actually have some real counters rather than dummies and such forth moving in. So it's activating here. Right. Artillery D's versus Sul and the 43rd line. So targeting those guys with that battery there. Okay. No dial modifiers. Within 2 hex range, there's no terrain in the way. The slope hex side doesn't block line of sight. Is 7, so that will be a QFT, which they shrug off. Liaison A, regular regiment volley fire. That's that one, liaison A. See. Oh, we just do that. Okay. Right, 75th line A in Kublnets. Firing it there. And a +1 for the village. Remembering low numbers are good. Rolls a 9. Bit of a miss. The French are hunkered down in the buildings. Now just poor Russian musketry. Right, so on with his movement. Be careful to observe orders, which is geographically the object of Kublnets. Okay, well, it can move anywhere within sort of 3 hexes there, so. Okay, so he's not pulling back. Able to move from here to here, even though there are no zones of control within the villages. Due to no French zone of control in the buildings, yeah. Again, foot battery can move into the village due to the same reason, no French zone of control. Battery can move 1 hex irrespective of orders. Oh, coming in big. Okay, so we basically have all of Langeron's formation committed. Onto melee declaration phase. Okay, lead units are, okay, well, whatever's on top of the stack, isn't it? Bangori A, so he's got that stack assaulting there and those two assaulting here. Back to the French for opportunity fire and defensive fire. I'll be able to do opportunity fire here because they're adjacent but not being assaulted. And then these guys will be able to defensive fire. Okay, so gonna pause it. You can see I've loaded up log 14. So yeah, I know what's going on here, guys. I'm just replaying it all for you in trying to make it as smooth a video as possible until me and Mark can actually get back together again, which will be soon. Okay. So me being nice again, opportunity fire. So opportunity fire is done first. Okay, me not going through all the palaver of writing down the hex, highlighting it's that hex firing and the target. -1 for opportunity fire gives you a -1 bonus. I mean, low number's good. And +1 for uphill on firing uphill. So it's going to be a straight roll. Need 5 or less to hit. So infantry fire is tricky. Roll a 4, which is good. And then get a smiley face from me. Happy about that one. QFT and a step. So he has to make a QFT check and then take a step off. The QFT check is always first. So you're testing on the unit's current morale. If you look at the morale at the moment, they are 8, but they've got Langer on. Gives them a bonus, makes them 9. but he rolls an 11. Okay, so that's 2 over. The morale with Langeron is a 9, so not enough to rout. If he rolled 12, that would have been, well, it's auto rout on 12 anyway. Either an extra step lost to remain or a retreat in that situation. Either way, they do not participate in the assault. Yeah, they failed their morale to go in, so he has a choice of taking an extra step loss to remain there, or he can retreat 1 hex. Okay, otherwise they do not now defensive fire. So there's no point in these guys now firing on them. You might as well fire on these guys. It's +1 for the village. So need a 4. I roll a 2. He's getting a bit lucky. Sorry. Yeah. Nothing you can do about luck, though, is there? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So they take a QFT 1 plus a step. So again, you're looking at the morale. Their morale is 8. So good morale troops. Roll a 3, so they pass their morale check. And I've taken a step off the lead unit. You can see it's now a 5 strength. Okay, so then we have the assault going in here. Fire +1 for the village. Need a 4. Roll 7, that's a miss. Back to you for the assaults. Okay, so variable results there, as you can see, halted this group. So in his log, he's going to have to either pull them back or take a step loss, but they will not be able to attack here. So it looks like this assault will still be able to go through against these here. So you see, we're now into log 15. Let's see what Mark has to say. Oof, yeah, that was painful. Langeron's column has seriously reduced hitting power. Yes, you've got quite a few reduced units now. I'll opt to retreat rather than take another step loss. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. I'm adjusting lead units. Fair enough. Yeah, if ever you take a step loss in a hex, you can always adjust the lead unit. PBeM becomes the lead assault unit in the melee. Okay, that's the unit from this hex here. Okay. Right, so he's got 34 SPs, 20 from one hex, 14 from another versus 11 for 3 to 1. -3, no quality modifiers, we're both at 7, but plus -1 for the village nets. You should say +1 for the village, net -2 on his die roll. He rolls a 6, which will become a 4. At least the Russians gain some momentum in return for the losses. It's an R result. Okay, now he's making me do a QFT here. I don't need to do a QFT. This is a mistake. The R result is literally that R. There's no QFT involved. R is everything on my side is reduced. So look at what I've got in there. The 473 is already reduced, will be eliminated. And the 474 will become a reduced unit. So what Mark is doing here is an error. Fail by 1, so retreat. So there is no retreat because there is no test. I'll let him carry on here in through the log, and then I actually created it in my next log. Okay. So he's written fail by 1, so retreat. I imagine you would withdraw the 8 towards friendly forces. Well, if I had to retreat, the only option I have is actually here. Can't retreat onto the pond in any way. So I only had one retreat option, but I didn't have to retreat. Right, he's advancing in, which is all an error. Okay, end of melee phase. Clearing up. End of turn. No, not yet. Okay. Lastly, I'll mark Langeron and his second activation. Right, back to the French. So this is the actual last log file. So Hi, Mark. A melee result I point out for is just an R, no QFT. So no fail, I hold ground. So I mistyped that, but I looked at it. Okay, so pushing him back, taking my unit back there. So we both bled. So both our forces bled in that assault. Yeah. But I hold the ground. Mark of my emperors has activated once. Yeah, I forgot to mark my emperor, and indeed what I forgot is Duroch. Okay, so I'm trying to activate this infantry up here. He's on a 9. If I find the actual real guy, he's somewhere over here. There he is. He's on a 9. He's a 9. Rolls 11. So he's saying nah. Okay, Morat. Also 9. He rolls a 10. He's saying nah. We're asleep. Azaris. Bezier. Charge of the guard. Also a 9. He does. All right. And this is the real one. The dummy. There's another dummy of him somewhere. Not sure what we'll see when he activates. As you can see, I am moving them to my orders. Okay. In between the attack here and here to reinforce. Well, so the attack here. My guard will be swinging this way unless disaster comes this way. They're not to be committed until there's a resolution here or here. That's the plan. As we all know, plans do not survive first contact with the enemy. The other card, yeah, it is. And a turn dial, no. Right, so that's as far as we've got at the present moment. So it will be over to Mark now. Hopefully the next thing will happen will be live. This is as far as I've sent him back the log. And hopefully we'll be able to meet up soon to carry on this. There's not many actual commanders that have got activations left. Not many turns you get so, well, it doesn't end. But it's creating an interesting narrative from my point of view, so I hope it's been doing so from your point of view. Anyway, till next time. If you like what you've been watching, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the little bell so you get any alerts when new videos come up. Until next time, thank you for watching.